If you have sciatica, a pain that begins at the level of the buttock and can run down to behind the knee or even the calf. This video is specially created for you because I'm going to teach you 3 different ways to work that sciatic nerve, to flex it, to slide its different layers. To alleviate the symptoms, these exercises should provide you with almost immediate relief within the 24 hours following their completion. And I've created 3 levels because we are all different and we have different symptoms. Depending on where your discomfort is, whether it's more at the level of the calf, behind the knee and in the thigh, or at the level of the buttock. In that order, so depending on what you're interested in, you can advance the video to find the exercises that suit you best. However, I always recommend doing all of them to achieve complete, comprehensive and lasting relief. To perform these exercises, you will need a band, a blanket, a belt, okay? Something with which you can hold the tip of your foot with your hands. Secondly, you will need a mat, a cushion, simply to be comfortable. And finally, a sofa, something on which we can support our legs to a small height. Very well, let's start with the first exercise, the first position. Especially designed for those who have sciatic pain at the calf level, at the ankle level, at the heel. But it can also be useful for all those who have pain at a higher level. The first thing to do is to lie down on your back in a comfortable position. I know that sciatica gets worse as we raise that completely straight leg. So I recommend you start by placing the leg that doesn't bother you on the couch and then slowly support the leg that bothers you. Simply, in this position we are already going to start working a little bit. The stretching of the sciatic nerve, a nerve that runs from the lumbar area to the level of the ankle. From here, I simply encourage you to bring the tip of the foot of the painful leg towards you and to notice sensations. We're going to switch cameras so you can see it better. We bring that tip of the foot towards you, hold for a few seconds and then relax. Tip of the foot towards you, hold for a few seconds and relax. Through this movement, what we are achieving is sliding the nerve, putting it under tension, especially in its distal part, and then relaxing it. This type of movement allows the different layers of the nerve to move among themselves, which can provide relief, a decompression. In the case that this scenario exists at the lumbar level, we are going to simply do 10 repetitions we are already carrying on. 5, tip of the foot towards me, I hold the tension for a few seconds. 6, relax, tip of the foot towards me. 7, relax, tip of the foot towards me. 8, relax, tip of the foot towards me. 9, last repetition, we change, tip of the foot towards me. And 10. This is the most basic level. It likely didn't make you feel any improvement or tension. It's okay, it's completely normal. Let's continue with the next level. The ideal is to find a level where you notice that there is some tension, that nerve is being worked on, but it's not too difficult. We can't fall into either of the 2 extremes. That is, we don't notice any kind of sensation or tension at the nerve level at the back of the leg, or that we notice too much, since at both extremes. On one hand, we are not going to evolve, we are not going to improve anything, and on the other hand, what we are going to achieve. If we pull too much on that nerve, it's to irritate the structure and produce more discomfort. That's why in this video I'm going to show you step by step how to complicate the exercise so that you find one that better suits your possibilities. We have taken that belt, that elastic, that strap, we have placed it around our foot, and we are going to continue doing 10 more in the following way. Now we take advantage of that strap to pull more towards us and add more tension at the back of the calf. We have 1. We are going to change the camera so you can see it better. I pull the tip of my foot towards me, hold for a few seconds. The tension in the back is greater. Relax 2. I try to keep that tip of the foot well towards the ceiling. I pull the tip towards me. Relax 3. I turn the tip towards me again. Relax 4. We're going to do 5 like this, and we're going to do another 5, complicating the scenario a little bit more. And 5. Next, notice what I want you to do. Reposition that tape a little bit if it's moving. I want you to not only bring that toe tip towards you, but also pull hard and lift that leg off the couch a little bit, just a little bit. Nothing. It's important that this lift doesn't depend on your muscles, but rather you pulling on your elastic, pulling on your belt, your blanket. The one who lifts the person who lifts that leg in a completely passive way. Especially important. This, okay? We hook that foot underneath the tip of the foot to add tension, and then we lift, which adds additional tension. And you're going to start feeling some discomfort, not so much in the calf, in the twin, but you'll probably start to notice more tightness, more electric sensation, right here, behind the knee. We're going to do 5 more at this difficulty, and then we'll progress. I pull the tip of my foot towards me. Everything is tense. I lift my leg a little bit, nothing more, hold for a few seconds, and relax. I don't have sciatica, and already in this position I'm feeling a lot of tension. At the back of the knee. Point your toe towards me. I lift that leg a little bit off the couch, helping with our strap, without our hip muscles making any kind of effort. And I relax. We have 3, last 2. I lift up, hold 1, 2, 3, relax. Last repetition, I pull the tip of my foot towards me, put in that tension well, and then lift my leg a little bit, hold for a few seconds, and relax. Very good. What did you think? 5 repetitions. The truth is that they have been quite intense and have allowed for greater work. We have to find a point where 1 is not too easy and 2 does not cause us too much trouble. We are going to continue looking at alternatives to keep adding tension to that area of the sciatic nerve. It's important that when we do the exercises, the head is always supported. I lifted to explain to you the exercise is going to add tension to all that posterior neural tissue, and it's going to cause more discomfort to appear. Very important, okay? Very well. Imagine that we have finished this first exercise, that we recover our strap, and that we want to move to a higher level. I recommend you to place 1 leg down. We are going to do it with the opposite leg and with the opposite leg. We are going to bring it to the chest in such a way that our hands pick up that leg from behind. The ideal is that the arms are as stretched as possible, that the knee is not near the chest, because this is going to add difficulty. The knee far from the chest, the arms completely stretched out. And from here the movement is very simple. We are going to stretch the leg completely. And once we are there at the maximum, it is surely limited by the flexibility of your muscles, of your hamstrings. Once we are there, we are going to add tension with the foot. This is obviously much more tense. It is much more demanding than the previous exercise. We are adding tension at the hip level. We are adding a lot of tension at the knee level. And finally, we add at the level of the calf, stretching the nerve nearly along its entire path. This second position is ideal for all those who have sciatica behind the thigh or even behind the knee. 2 allows a second. We'll change the camera for a better view. 3. I relax. I eliminate posterior tension. My arms always very stretched. And then I stretch my knee, the tip of my foot towards me, and I hold. 1, 2, 3, 4. What do you think? Much more tension. You may be very flexible, and this position may not cause you any kind of sensation. 4. I'll now demonstrate a slightly more complex method. Come on, again, I stretch the tip of my foot towards me, and 5. Very well, if you're one of those people who fully stretches the leg, that there's no kind of symptom. As you can see, I'm not part of this group of the population. What we can do is bring that knee closer to the chest, what I've forbidden before. On this occasion, it can be a good way to complicate the exercise and, from here basically, do it again. Here, however, look, since I have little flexibility, I'm not going to feel much tension at the back of the knee, nor am I going to know how to direct that tension to the sciatic nerve. Therefore, this is only suitable. This variant with the knee to the chest for those people who have great flexibility, in 90% of the cases. For all of you who have that sciatic discomfort behind the thigh, this variant will be valid and will produce very good sensations. We're going to do 3 more. 1, 9, last repetition. And when doing this exercise, some of you always say, "Hey Marcos, it's just that my knee cracks. I'm afraid I'm hurting myself. I have knee arthritis." Number 1, it's okay if the knee cracks. The fact that it cracks doesn't mean we're worsening its joint quality. Let this be crystal clear. And number 2, we can try to slightly rotate the leg, although ideally we should place that tip of the foot pointing towards our face, we could place it a little bit outward, a little bit inward. Let me show you with the other camera, a little bit outward, a little bit inward, introducing hip rotation. So that kneecap, which is usually the one that causes those kinds of sounds, is more adjusted to its channel and produces fewer sounds. In any case, if the crunching is not accompanied by pain, you should not worry about anything at all. Very well, this will be the beginning of that second situation, of that second scenario to improve that sciatic pain. But I'm also going to show you some ways to work it at different intensities within this second scenario. What we're going to do again is use our belt, our strap, and we're going to place it, as always, at the level of the toes of the feet. This time we're not going to hold ourselves right behind the knee, but we're going to try to keep our leg in a nearly vertical position. And from here work with our elastic to add extra tension to perform the movement. We're going to see 5 repetitions. I relax. I let that heel reach the buttock to completely relax the nerve sheath, and then I stretch, 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 pull the tip of the foot towards me, and here the tension is highly effective. I hold for a few seconds a lot of posterior tension, especially at the level of the knee, the thigh, and I relax. I let that foot fall, that heel comes close to the buttock. I feel a great relief, and then I go back again. As you see, we are putting that nerve under tension, relaxing it, putting it under tension, relaxing it, and this can be pleasantly affected by the nerve. It can improve its sliding in the different sheaths and can help decompress and relieve symptoms almost immediately. We're going to do 2 more relax, stretch, hold for a few seconds. Relax, last repetition. Let's go for it, stretch. And relax. Very good. This would be the second scenario, especially dedicated to all those who have more discomfort at the back of the knee, at the back of the thigh. Let's remember that the first scenario, the first technique, was more focused on people who had discomfort at the level of the calf, ankle, or foot. And this last scenario that we are going to see basically focuses on the hip level. Most sciaticas focus only there, right at the point of the buttock, as if it were a bite that a dog is giving us. Well, it's exactly that area, that point, that we are going to work with this last technique. And before we continue, I just want to give you a small aside. Sciatica, when it improves, it does so by centralizing. This means that we can start with pain reaching from the foot to the calf, worsening over time, and with exercise. Notice how this pain goes up to the knee, then to the buttock, and then disappears. That is the normal course of sciatica, and it can also give us a short and long-term prognosis. If we have sciatica that reaches the foot, it generally has a worse prognosis. It is more severe than if we have sciatica only centered at the level of the buttock and hip. Regardless of this, if you have a very stubborn sciatica that has accompanied you for a long time, I advise you to work on all 3 scenarios to achieve absolute release, joint by joint, of that sciatic nerve. Since the relief you are going to notice will be practically immediate, it has to appear within the next 24 hours after having done the exercise. Let's remove this from here, let's switch cameras, and let's perform that last level. The procedure to reach the third position, the third exercise, is basically the same as we have seen in the second. We lie, face up, leg bent, we place the elastic band just below the pad of the fingers. We stretch the leg until some tension begins to appear. And from here what we are going to do is rotate, position ourselves completely sideways until that foot reaches the ground. Let me move a little bit further back so you can see. Once that foot is on the ground, we have to maintain 2 very important parameters. The first one being that foot does not lift off the ground at any time. The second one, that the left shoulder falls back so that it is as close to the ground as possible. What is going to happen here? We introduce a certain rotation, a certain stretch at the lumbar area, which adds more tension to its closest branches, right here at the hip level. Once here we can play, let it switch camera with various positions, the leg completely stretched forward, the leg higher or lower. The higher that leg is, you're going to notice what greater posterior tension at the thigh level, greater tension at the level of the wheel appear, the lower obviously the easier. The ideal would be for the knee to be as stretched as possible, something quite difficult in my situation, but each one will have to work it within their possibilities. So, the first exercise we are going to do is simply maintaining that tension. That foot on the ground, that left shoulder well back, and that foot in tension towards you. I don't want it to be down. We're going to place one hand at knee level and we're going to push a little bit, nothing more. By pushing that knee slightly, you'll feel an immense, intense tension to the back of your thigh and at the level of your buttock. Again, we can modify it by placing the foot lower or higher. Remember that advice I gave you at the beginning? We can have work at either extreme. Neither too simple that we don't notice any kind of tension, although here it's hard not to notice anything, nor too much tension, as we could cause a worsening of the symptoms. I maintain tension with my elastic left shoulder well back, and I support with my knee. Incredible tension behind my thigh and my buttock. 1. I support a little, I try to stretch the knee. Incredible that tension. 2. I support my knee downwards. Maximum tension behind my buttock and my leg. 3, let's see, 5 I push, 4, and then another 5 changing position, I push, that's it, and 5. The key factors are the parameters. Foot well anchored, knee and hip fixed, my left shoulder moves back. Another way to work it, we could do it by lifting the leg a little higher, more tension at the hip level. Very demanding, and from here with my 2 arms, pull our foot. Remember, the left hand should be very, very close to the ground level. From here, I'll pull towards me. Wow, incredible tension. Hold for a few seconds and relax 1. I'm going to do 5, nothing more. I pull towards me. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, and I relax. I pull towards me. Even if you pull just a little, nothing more, you're going to feel a very high tension. I'm really at the limit here of overdoing it, of feeling too much tension. 3, I have 2 left, let's work on them. I pull towards me. 4, last repetition, we're going to change the camera. I pull towards me, that's it. And 5, relax, everything slowly. To do it, the leg slowly returns to the original position. I recommend you to bend it and place it on top of the other one and stay a little while in this position. Let the body find normality to the back. The nerve doesn't like it when you change position too suddenly, as the pain is likely to appear, especially when we work on postures like these, so sustained and so extreme. Breathe and simply evaluate how your leg feels now. Does it feel better than when you started the session? Does it feel worse? I encourage you to try the exercises multiple times to find the level best suited to your abilities. Each of us are different, we have different flexibility, different height, different age, different experience. That's why I wanted to offer you so many variants for you to try them all and find the one that suits you best. So give a second chance, or a third if the first time. You don't get relief until you find that appropriate level of tension. I'm sure that when you do, I guarantee you 100% that you're going to feel a great relief. I simply, by having done this session, that you don't have a great looseness in my leg, a great relaxation, and the truth is that it is very, very much appreciated, nothing more. To work on these exercises, I recommend you choose that exercise that best suits your abilities and repeat it in 4 sets of 10 repetitions. One day yes, one day no, or every day. If it suits you very well, the important thing is to find that point and be consistent over time. Before I say goodbye, I remind you that in this card that we have put here or in the video description, you are going to find my newsletter. A place where I send all the videos that I publish through YouTube on a weekly basis, completely free of charge. Not only that, but you will also have access to my library of over 1,000 videos so you can find those exercises that suit you best. And finally, you will also receive priority notifications every time I launch something new, the opening traces of a new program. Since last year, there were more than 3,000 people who joined me in my programs and managed to improve their quality of life and health. I invite you to click on that card or on that link that will appear down here in the video description. In the first comment to subscribe, you leave your email, check out a bit of my biography, the people who have worked with me, and every Sunday, in your inbox, you will receive my videos. Nothing more to say goodbye to you, thanking you for having shared this time with me, hoping to see you again very soon in one of my other videos. Bye friends.